Welcome back to the Fever, everyone. Roosevelt quarterback Caden Whitley helped pave the way for the Eagles' opening win of the 2010 season, throwing for 4 touchdowns while running for another 3. Here's George with our AJ Player of the Week.
Welcome back to the Fever, everybody, for this week's Player of the Week, and it is Roosevelt quarterback Caden Whitley. Caden with a big game out of the week, out of the chutes for Roosevelt. 259 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns on 78 yards. First game of the season. Caden, talk about it. I know you guys had a lot of expectations, things like that going into this season. Looks like you guys got off onto a good start this week.
Well, coming back, we got a lot of seniors. We got a lot of maturity on the team this year, and everybody was coming out just ready to play. And we had a bye week the first week, and then we got to look at everybody else and see how they were going to do, and it just got us better prepared for this week.
All right. Well, this is your second week in this, or the second year in this offense. You started last year. Talk about maybe what that year experience helped you going into this season.
Well, the spread offense takes a lot of reading and a lot of just concentration on what you're having to do, lots of reads, and just being in it for 2 years, 3 years, just kind of gets you better prepared for what you have to do, and you just get real comfortable in knowing what you have to do.
Now, and Coach also, talking with him this week, talked about, you had some competition in two-a-days and in camp. Talk about how you feel like maybe that competition helped you going into the season.
Well, competition is good for a starting quarterback because you're threatened to lose your spot, and you just have to work that much harder, and it makes you want to have that spot just that much more, and it makes you want to be better and want to work harder.
Well, you guys are in a tough district this year with 8 teams and just a lot of big competition, but it looks like at least early on you guys may be one of the top dogs. Some teams are up and down, but you guys get off to this good start. How does that help you guys get started for this schedule you guys are facing this year?
Well, everybody knows that this district that we're in is probably the toughest district in the state of Texas. You got a lot of teams that went to playoffs. Bushland was the state runner-up last year, and just knowing that we have this much competition means that we're going to have to work that much harder and to want it that much more. And just knowing if we can get out of the district, then we should do pretty well at state.
Did the experience and all the stuff you gained last year just make you that much better?
Yes, sir. And everybody knows kind of what to do. Everybody knows what to run, and it's going to make the offense that much better. Well,
I guarantee you, if they get off the rest of the season like they got off to a start on Friday night, Roosevelt is going to be right there in the playoff chase at the end of the season. That's it for this week's AJ Player of the Week.
Caden Whitley, obviously with a big game, George. You've talked to him. 335 yards at total offense, 7 touchdowns. Can you think of a better opening performance to open a season for another kid?
It's really hard to think of a better guy or a better opening performance by a guy. And and here's a kid who, he's one of those that I think maybe kind of deserved to have this kind of deal because he was kind of thrown into the fire with Roosevelt last year with a very young football team that Coach Warner really kind of thought they were on the edge of being a good team, but just had too many youthful mistakes and inexperience that really kind of held them back. And Caden kind of had some of those. He was one that last year would try to kind of force the ball into certain spots and maybe make throws that that he shouldn't have. Talking with Coach Pointer this week, he's talking about how Caden doesn't make those throws anymore, especially on one of their touchdown throws. He could have tried to zip it into a kid that was in tight coverage. Instead, he checked down, saw his second receiver, saw his third receiver, and found the right guy to go to. So, yeah, Caden Whitley is becoming more and more mature as a quarterback for Roosevelt. And in that offense, when you've got a mature quarterback, who knows what that offense is capable of.
You mentioned Greg Pointer, George, a guy who knows a lot about the quarterbacks that have been over at Muleshoe, so obviously he might have a good one this year out at Roosevelt. Another team with plenty of good players that are rolling this year is the Blue Machine out at Estacado. George will stop by with Dana Severance to find out more about the Matadors on this week's film session. Next.